I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 97 of the SZN Podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And as always, before we kick off the episode, please make sure you go to our Instagram, which is SZN Podcast, or our Twitter, which is SZN Pod. Link in the bio of both of those websites there. And that link takes us to all our links in terms of where we're situated at, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts for audio, or YouTube if you prefer visual. So make sure you guys check us out on those links there. Please like, subscribe, etc. But yeah, man, 97, another week, bro. Tired as hell, but yeah, man.
Tell me about it.
Man, it's been a long ass week. I tell you that much. It's been a long week. But this should be a nice little mini-sode. There's a sort of one fight we will break down from the weekend. Let's delve straight into it. Joyce versus Christian Hammer on it's a Queensberry card on the weekend. Before we start with the main event, because the main event is really what I tuned in for. I'm guessing you're the same as well. Callum Johnson was meant to be on this card, and I think 2 days prior, to the actual fight flows, he's pulled out again. This is now the fourth fight under Frank Warren that Callum Johnson's pulled out of. I'm not even joking, bro. 4 fights in a row now he's pulled out. I don't know. I haven't found the reason as to why he pulled out. I'm just going to suspect it's some sort of injury, but it's not looking good for Callum Johnson, bro. You know how we like to insert him in the conversations with the other domestic light heavies, and to be fair, he should be inserted in those conversations because he's challenged for the world title. He's fought Pulev, right? But it's been a long time since we've seen him out there properly. Bro, it's not looking good. He's older. He's not young as well. He's older than everyone else. So he needs to get moving for real, man.
I think that was part of the issues why he split with Matchroom, because
fights, yeah.
He wasn't fighting.
Yeah.
Damn shame.
Yeah. Damn shame. But yeah, I don't know if we get more updates in terms of why he pulled out, etc. We'll deliver it to you listeners. But let's get the ball rolling on the main event. Joyce, Christian Hammer. Let's see, this wasn't meant to be the fight that we were meant to be seeing. It was meant to be Joyce versus Parker. That fell through. So instead, Christian Hammer. We said last week that Joyce is going to roll this guy over. It's going to be easy for him. And to be honest, this fight panned out like a typical Joyce fight for me. Yeah, obviously Hammer is a soup can. Let's call a spade a spade. He's a soup can. He's been in there with a lot of good fighters, but he's not good. This is what his 10th loss now. He's not good. He was just a body. Come there, be a bit competitive. But Joyce was always going to win this fight hands down. It was just, I guess, for me, how he looked doing it. And Joyce looked like Joyce. That's the way I can put it, bro. It was a typical Joyce performance. He started off slow, ponderous. And that first round, Hammer actually won because Hammer caught him with like 3 or 4 big bombs, big overhand rights, which is what we've seen Joyce be capable, susceptible to in his previous fights. But Joyce is lucky that he's got a granite chin. It's one of his, I guess, his biggest attributes is that he's never been rocked or wobbled. And those big shots, those haymakers that Hammer landed would have definitely, I think, not woke up Joyce, but it definitely would have sucked away from Hammer's confidence, because those are 3 of the best shots he's ever thrown, I swear. And Joyce didn't even move. They just carried on marching forward. So, from there, apart from losing that first round, it was a comprehensive Joyce victory for me, really. He upped the ante in the second round and the third round. And as soon as the activity stepped up, Joyce, one of the things I rate about him, he's got an engine in it. So he can keep coming and keep going. And yeah, I said that, I tweeted on the account that Hammer's going to lose this fight on fatigue alone, because by the third round, he was blowing out of his ass, and Joyce was up in the ante. So I was like, fatigue's going to get this guy anyways, regardless. And that's essentially what happened, really. Got stopped, got dropped a couple of times, a couple of body shots. That was just more the wind being sucked out of him. And yeah, man, it wasn't a contest. It wasn't really a contest. And he tried to look a bit competitive in there, but he was never going to trouble Big Joe. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think this was a ticking over fight for Joyce.
Yeah.
I'll give Christian Hammer a bit more respect than you gave him. I wouldn't call him a soup can as such.
You don't think he's a soup can? 10 losses. You don't think he's a soup can?
Yeah, but he's lost to like prospects of people who are good. He's lost to fighters who are tips to get to the top.
He got stopped by Huey Fury.
Yeah.
I'll
call him a gatekeeper. I'll call him a gatekeeper.
Okay.
Right? Because he's someone they feed to for wins.
I feel like Chisora's a gatekeeper. Hammer isn't a gatekeeper.
How many losses does Chisora have?
Like, is it 8? Is it 8?
Might be touching 10, bro. I can't remember the last one Chisora won.
I thought it's about 8, 9 or whatever, but it's different because Chisora is a proper live opponent from the first bell to the last bell. Hammer, not quite so. That's why I think he's at the latter end of his career now, because there was a time where he was going the distance with people and just losing on points. Yeah, it's true.
Now he's getting stopped. Fury stopped him.
Yeah. I think he retired, didn't he?
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Maybe he's been relegated to the soup can. I agree. But yeah, what can you say? Joyce gets hit.
Yeah.
Marches forward, plods forward. No head movement.
Yeah. So slow. No head. No, oh my gosh. Yeah.
But he tries to pick his shots, which is a positive thing. So
yeah.
I expected that from Joyce and done what he needed to.
Yeah. What do you make of this? Obviously, because he got a critique, because this is, I think, the same old story for Joyce, in the sense that, you know, he gets hit too easily, gets caught with big shots. He seems to be very, very, very susceptible to the overhand right, coming over the top of his jab and getting caught because his lack of head movement, or just how slow and sluggish he is. And obviously everyone says, oh, this was Wilder, for example, he's getting stopped, etc. He's getting dropped. We're yet to see him get wobbled or be staggered. But do you think this is him not rating his opponent, or is he just generally really sluggish?
This is his style, man. It's not about waiting opponent. This is no head movement. He's gonna get caught. He's gonna get pieced up at times. We saw against the bar, but he's just got that chin. That chin back. He backs that chin. I think against someone with a bit more skill and the power to match. Yeah. He could be getting stopped. Like that chin. Like, you don't need to go down to be getting stopped. Like, the ref could have to see enough and think, yo, I'm jumping in it. Yeah. But luckily for him, we mentioned that engine where he keeps coming forward and he keeps throwing. So he won't ever. Yeah. We've never seen him like days where it's like, someone jumps on top of him. Yeah. But I don't buy all this superb chin, taking shot stuff, because you can get dropped and you can get hurt. So he needs to be careful.
It's too risky, in my opinion, man. Way too risky. Way too risky. But you can do it against the likes of Hammer, etc., the likes of Stavern or whatever. That's who obviously he's fought recently. But it can't. Like someone like AJ, I think it's just gonna land a detonate on him and boom. Don't trust your chin all the time, man. It's a risky strategy. But man, the juggernaut marches on. It was a ticking over fight. Frank Warren said straight away, he's out again in September. They'll look for an opponent for him. We know what the situation is in the heavyweights. Obviously, everyone's waiting, obviously, in terms of Wagwan for Usyk, AJ2. Everyone's sort of just sitting around waiting for that, and then the fallout from that will be everyone getting their title shots, etc. Joyce is currently primed, mandatory, I think, for WBO. He's in that bracket, so he's mandatory for that. So he has that mandatory position. He just has to chill, I guess, and keep busy. It's like I said, it's a shame that the Parker fight fell through, because that would have been a good competitive fight. I'd love to have seen that. I don't know who else he can really look at to fight next in the interim. Other contenders, I guess, other guys out there. They talked about, they mentioned briefly in the broadcast, Frank Sanchez and guys like that. Good opponents like that. Frank Sanchez, Dillian White. I don't know how realistic these guys are, but I guess those are probably who can fight in the interim if he wants to fight a tough fight. Because the guys like Hammer, he's just going to walk through and demolish in under 5 rounds. So, yeah.
I'm kind of wary about him going up against a tough test because he's not young as well. He's old. But at the same time, you're sitting on a title shot.
Yeah.
You don't all that Murphy's Law stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Bro, might as well take over and fight Robert Helenius or someone. fight them kind of fights there. And
Marius whacking them man there.
Yeah, can't hold it against him.
Yeah.
He's in line for undisputed shot, potentially.
Yeah.
Well,
potentially.
That kind of thing there. So why risk it against the Frank Sanchez, Deontay Wilder, Dillian White? Because that man can punch and they can box. So Wilder can't, but shout out to Juggernaut. Shout out to Juggernaut. He did what he had to do. I'm not going to take too much away from him getting hit. He's been doing this, so it is what it is. And I reiterate, I've said it before, Joyce, he is a bit of a problem. So in itself, he is a bit of a problem for heavyweights out there, for some of them, because of, you can see the flaws in terms of he's sluggish and slow, but he's a big guy, strong, engine, keeps coming forward. He's, if you don't take him seriously, he can really propose you a lot of problems, as Daniel Dubois saw. So, yeah, man, he's definitely in the mix, 100% in the mix. Let's quickly touch upon the other fight that went down on the weekend. Maris Breidis versus is it Jay Opetaia, over in Australia, and a bit of a shock, really, Flowz. Breidis has been dethroned. Long time considered the best in the division. It's been dethroned down under in Australia. What do you make of his fight, Flowz? Heard Opetaia was good value for the win, man. He boxed brilliantly. Bro, obviously, I think we both said we weren't too... I've seen his name. He's always in the rankings. But
but you've never seen him.
The cruiserweight division is a funny division, man. We've said that before. So it's not one that has too many eyes on it. So I haven't seen the performer for this, Jay Opetaia. But my man boxed beautifully. Southpaw. He was using the backhand brilliantly. He was countering with his right, whether it's an uppercut, whether it's about, he was boxing out his skin.
Mad.
Holding the center of the ring, backing up Breidis.
Yeah.
His footwork was brilliant to me because he was constantly on his toes. He was moving in and out, and he was stepping in range, but using his backhand. So he used the jab and feint with the jab, but used his backhand and kept piecing up Breidis. Cut him in the first round, wobbled him in the fourth. I was like, yo.
Had them in trouble in the sixth, I believe, as well, no? Bro, Breidis was damn near hanging on.
Bro, he was fit. He was handling Breidis. And Breidis had these portions where he was fighting back, but he was nose bloodied, eye cut up. I wouldn't say it was a beat up, but it was a dominant performance from Jay Opetaia. Yeah. And one that has to make the divisions sit up
and open their eyes, raw, okay.
I heard a lot of talk before the fight that people fancied an upset.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But it's hard. But the thing is, it's hard to quantify that, especially when you haven't seen the guy. You get me? If it's someone that we were familiar with and it's okay, cool, yeah, I can back him to do the upset. But he, to us, complete unknown, wasn't he? In that sense.
Yeah.
Never seen him before.
Never seen him fight before. So, I think he's from Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these Australians are doing a mad thing.
From the sound of things, by his name, he's Pacific Island descent. Yeah, Samoan or something. Yeah.
Samoan.
Tongan or whatever. Yeah. Them
man
are tough. Them man are tough. We know that. So,
bro, super impressed. And hopefully he's on smoke as well. I heard Breidis gave him his props. He said that rematch. He said that he was ill. Build up. Which I can believe because he didn't look himself.
Because the thing with Breidis, he usually comes with that aggression, inside fighting. You saying he didn't look that, he looked almost like a show of himself that night.
Yeah, it didn't look like the guy who gave Usyk help.
Yeah,
it didn't look like that guy. And I think we questioned it last episode that maybe
at 37.
before we thought Okoli were ready, and now we think Okoli's ready just because
100%.
We haven't seen Breidis and the behavior we've been seeing from Breidis. We don't even take him too seriously anymore. It's off that alone.
Yeah.
So now, he was a massive favorite for this. Let's be honest. But yeah, Jai Opetaia, I'm happy to see him again.
So he's made a name for himself. I remember the name, Jai Opetaia, new player in the division. Breidis wants a rematch, but that's going to take like 8 to 12 months because Opetaia apparently, Flowz, he suffered he was fighting for a broken jaw from round 2. So Breidis broke his jaw in round 2, and then he fought the rest of the fight with that. So props to that as well. I mean, that shows you're a true warrior. So if Breidis does want that rematch, that's what, an 8 to 12 month rehab and healing process for that jaw. By that time, Breidis will be nearly 39. It's clock's ticking, boy.
Breidis needs to pack it in. What we need to see now is Opetaia versus Okoli.
Yeah, but question to you was in terms of straight unification as you want, but in terms of that performance alone, from what you've seen of Opetaia, is can he pose Okoli some problems with his movement, his slickness, all that stuff?
Yeah, I guess. But
Southpaw as well.
Yeah, Southpaw, and he looks skillful. His footwork was good. The way he was using the backhand was really impressive because he would be in range and he would pull at the jab almost, and then boom, find the backhand. So obviously a Southpaw and the Orthodox, almost the front hands are blocking each other. And then he wouldn't use it. He'd use the front hand to almost try and counter Breidis when he'd throw his jab. So it was very, tactics were spot on.
Yeah,
and then working on the inside as well, he seemed to have almost the speed on Breidis, which is so fast hands, smart boxing with the footwork. The issue with Okoli, like we've said before, is it's very hard to look good against because
villainous style, as you called him.
Villainous. He will smother you, make it ugly.
Yeah.
Boom, get off his work. Boom, hold, hold, wrap you up. And Okoli has the ability to do that to anyone with the power he has. So, it could cause him problems, but he's got to focus more on the Okoli problem. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. No, fair enough.
But I want to see it.
Yeah.
I think, he's... But Okoli looks so much bigger than these man. I don't know why.
Bro, it's a difference. No, he is. No, it's not. He is a lot bigger than these man. It is what it is. Guy's a monster in the division.
Yeah.
Look, these men need to get Gumalarin out of here. When we highlighted that this guy hadn't fought since 2019, get him out, pack him up, pack him the hell up, get him out of here.
The WBA is so funny. This Gumalarin, he
never won the title. Yeah.
Interim. That's the only one he won. He won the interim.
Yeah.
Obviously, WBA got rid of the interim.
Yeah.
He was meant to fight for the regular.
Yeah.
The fight didn't happen. Not his fault. I think his opponent pulled out, whatever. Upgraded into regular. He was the super champion. What's his name? Masternak was the super champion, I think.
Was it Masternak?
Who was it? I think it was him. Who was it?
Okay. I'm not not the Russian that my man beat in the final. No, I can't remember. Gassiev.
Was it Gassiev?
One
of them. Who retired? Who retired? Was it Gassiev who retired?
Gassiev moved up. But Gassiev lost the belt to Usyk. Because Gassiev had 2 belts, remember? And Usyk when he cleaned up, and then Gassiev moved up to heavyweight. Haven't seen him, but he moved up. It might have been Masternak then, maybe. One
of them, man. Anyway, all I know is that Gumalarin didn't fight for the belt. He got elevated to regular, then he got elevated to
twice.
Super.
2-time elevation,
without fighting anyone. So
and he's been chilling ever since. Shocking. Yeah, get him out there. Makabu.
It was Lebedev. It was Lebedev.
Oh, Lebedev.
yeah. Dennis Lebedev.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
He retired. I remember. Yeah, he retired. Yeah.
He's the one who retired. Because he wanted to fight him? Belly wanted to fight him at one point, didn't he? Anyway, that division's fun. Yeah, no eyes on it.
Yeah, get Gumalarin out of there. I feel like Makabu isn't someone that'll duck or whatever. He's on fighting, so maybe have a unification with Makabu at some point as well. And we're trying to see that division unified. But it is a division that there are zero eyes on it, and it's quite, I guess it's considered quite boring.
Yeah, that tournament was exciting. It was a good thing, and having someone clean up the division was the most excitement the cruiserweight division seen for a long time. And it seems
like it's gone backwards. You get me?
Yep.
So, and this is why we're saying, obviously, we've got a couple good young British guys that, you know, we hope can sort of inject some excitement into that division. So hopefully they come and do that, because it is serious need of. But yeah, to be fair, the cruiserweight division has always been a division that's been, let's be real, it's always been overlooked, because it's like cruiserweights will always have that ambition to go to heavyweight, which is the glamorous division, right? So, like, yeah, it's never been looked as a great division like that, because it's either like, oh, just go to heavyweight, compete there. But yeah, hopefully Cody will get his chance to unify that entire division, clean it up before he then moves up to heavyweight. But yeah, big result for Opetaia. Made a name for himself now. Yeah, Breidis was considered the best, him or Cody. So yeah, he's right up there now for sure. Cool. Let's touch upon Wagwan for this coming week then, because there's two fights that we want to quickly touch upon. We'll start with home, the main fight. Chisora versus Pulev. This is their rematch. This is their second fight, right? Yeah. Yeah, man. Chisora, you know, he keeps he's suffered 3 losses in a row, right? But they've been losses in a row, not to call them whatever, but obviously they've been losses where they've been good losses, in the sense that he's performed or overperformed what people expected he was going to do. So much so that even in fact, all 3 fights I've heard calls of, oh, Chisora was robbed. Shocking. But yeah, I've heard talks of, you know, he won all these last 3 fights. But yeah, these good losses seem to have, it's just been keeping Chisora alive, really. You know, a lot of fighters you thought are like at 30, he's like 38 or whatever, with over 30, you know, I mean, is he touching 40 fights? A lot of mileage, 3 losses in a row. You know, a lot of people were saying, you know, it's time to call it a day. But for Chisora, because of the way he's losing these fights and because he's making it look competitive, people are still, you know, clamoring to see him. They're saying they still want to see Derek out there. So, yeah, man. Obviously, DAZN, Hearn, he's smart. He knows that Chisora is a bit of a draw, bit of a people's champ, people's favorite. So he keeps rolling him out. This is actually a good fight. Well, not like an elite fight or whatever, but Pulev isn't like I won't call Pulev a bum. He's similar to Chisora in the sense that he's old, been around for a long time, fought the best. Yeah, and it's a rematch. So I guess why not, right? People will tune into this. People will turn up and watch this. So yeah, man, it's that kind of fight. It's a Saturday night. If you've got nothing better to do, what to watch, Chisora is an exciting fight. It should be a good fight. So yeah, that's it really on this one. It's not a fight that's going to shake the division. It's just it's just to get Derek Chisora out again and bring the crowd in, which is exactly what it is, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think we haven't seen Pulev since he lost to AJ, right?
No, I think he had a tune-up.
Oh, you have a tune-up, okay. I think Pulev is even older than Chisora, I'm pretty sure. Because Pulev has been around a long, long time. Yeah. Yeah, he's even older than Chisora for sure. I'm positive. Yeah, man, I don't really know what to make of this rematch, man. I feel like with the run Chisora is on, he has looked good in his last couple of fights, despite losing. We might see some revenge here. But Pulev is still dangerous. Still dangerous for him. Still dangerous opponent, especially as Pulev likes to fight at range, and we've seen Chisora struggle with fighters who like to fight at range. But yeah, nah. I'm thinking Del Boy might get the W fight finally here. He might get one. They've been itching to give him one, so yeah.
We're interested to see the odds in this because really and truly, Pulev was challenging for a title. Like when he fought AJ, he was like, we expected AJ to win, but he was at that level where he was beating everyone underneath title level, and his career is pretty solid. Pulev lost to AJ and Klitschko. Hasn't fought anyone great really, but he's beaten everyone else who's in front of him, beating Chisora. So it's interesting to see if he's all of a sudden he's had this huge decline where he can't beat a Chisora again. And always the question's always been with Chisora, when he gets up for a fight, it's when he performs. And obviously he's had this career resurgence where he's become almost a better fighter than he was when he was younger. But taking losses in age with him, because he's been stopped, he's been hurt before. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see the odds on this one. But you can't. For some reason, you do think Chisora can do it, but I still think, is there much indication that Pulev won't win it?
Yeah, no. I feel like the bookies will make Chisora a favorite, but I think with the boxing heads, it points to a Pulev victory, to be honest, especially given their first fight where Pulev, I remember their first fight, Pulev controlled the whole thing basically from range. Yeah. With his jab, Chisora was struggling to get inside, etc., etc. You know that story. As I've said, as we sort of mentioned, this seems to be a better Chisora. Yeah. Where he's more of a, I guess, Bob and Weaver, get inside and, get his shots off and get his work off. High work rate in some portions, while other portions he's taking his time, being savvy, conserving his energy. So yeah, I think that adds to it. You're thinking, this Chisora is different. He's more on it. He's more aggressive, etc. That can maybe get Pulev, but on paper, theoretically, I feel like Pulev has all the tools again to do what he did to him last time. To be honest, because I haven't seen Pulev since AJ. I didn't watch the previous tune-up fights. I don't know what he looks like now, but obviously I just know he's older. So yeah, it's an intriguing one, really. But I do think Del Boy can do it, and I feel like, fourth time's a charm. I feel like, I have a feeling that he can do it, and fourth time's a charm. But it hinges on whether he can get inside, really. Yeah. Yeah,
he'll bring that war to Chisora. He'll bring that same style. Yeah, we know it is. But I don't know. We've seen Chisora look gassy in those fights, like he blowing, taking rounds off. He the corner, waiting.
Bro, Chisora will come and fight. It will be like that. As in, he will start like a train. He will blow out after about 4 rounds, and then the rest of the fight will be spent, being smart, conserving his energy, fighting in portions. Usually, how he likes to activate with like 1 minute left. He will suddenly activate. He'll do that. We know he's very, very savvy in there. It'd be interesting to see actually if Pulev buys the come to the ropes thing that Chisora likes to do. It'd be interesting if Pulev buys that.
It could be a case of Chisora gets him early, knocks him out early or something in the fight. But after, if it goes the distance, I'm not sure. Actually, who knows, man? Chisora, like you say, is very smart in there. He can nick rounds with his tactics.
This fight, I just don't know what to make of it, because one, it's a nothing fight. It's a pure nothing fight. And two, it's just like they're both, especially Chisora, he's a proper on his day merchant. So you don't know what Chisora, like it could be the Chisora that fought my man in Monaco, where he had a stinker. Who was it he fought in Monaco that was just shocking? Like he just didn't turn up.
It's one of these.
I'll find it now. Hang on, Flowz. I'll find it now. There we go. Caballero.
Yeah.
Where he just did not want to bother. Like that's a fight he could have won, and he just didn't want to turn up. Came out of shape, didn't, had no motivation. So you never know with Chisora. I like to think that it will be the war Chisora though that comes through for sure.
Yeah.
But a nothing fight. Of course I'll watch. It's a Saturday night entertainment, right? And he has been entertaining fights as of late. So, and I think a lot of people will tune in, but it's not a fight that's big for the division or has any consequences. If Pulev wins, you're not going to try and see Pulev try and fight the champions again. He's going to get blown out again. Let's be real. Yeah. And Chisora, he's not fighting any world champions. It's just, I don't even know who Chisora can fight next after this. I'll be so real.
if he loses, he might as well call it a day.
Yeah, we're going to get calls for that. But again, because he's such a crowd favorite, if he loses it in a good way, as he has been doing, there'll still be people out there saying that they don't want to weed him out. And, he keeps saying that he doesn't want to retire, he retire on his terms. So I don't even know what he wants to do. But I felt like he should have called it a day last fight, personally.
He did.
But here he is. Yeah. They'll keep milking him.
Milking for so long.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for real. Let's touch upon one more fight that's going down next week. Bit of an under radar one, because these two guys aren't really, I guess, well known like that. But I want to touch upon it because I think it's going to be a good fight. Let's sneeze. Okay. We got Mark Magsayo, who, listeners, if you remember when we talked about him, he's the guy that dethroned Gary Russell Jr. earlier on this year in January. And he's defending the belt he won of Gary Russell against Ray Vargas, who is an undefeated Mexican fighter, who I believe is moving up from super bantam to featherweight to challenge Mark Magsayo. This is a good fight because obviously Magsayo is undefeated as well, and he looked good against Gary Russell Jr. and he grabbed that belt off him. Ray Vargas is another one that's also undefeated. I think he was a long-time champion at super bantamweight, held that belt for quite a while. He had the WBC in super bantam, so obviously he's moved up now and gets a challenge for the WBC feather. I think it has the makings of a good fight. Two undefeated fighters are good. And as we know, with the lower weight classes, they bang out and it's fast and furious. So, listeners, if you fancy another fight to sort of tuck into, a bit under the radar, but I have a feeling this has the makings of a really good fight. Just thought I'd quickly touch upon that, really. Yeah.
It's one of our watch, so
yeah,
maybe not live, but I'll watch it back.
Catch it the next day. Yeah,
Magsayo really impressed me because Gary Russell Jr. So
yeah, I'm not too sure what network he's going to be on. I'm not too sure where they're signed to. Both of them.
Showtime.
Yeah, possibly Show. Yeah, because Gary Russell was. I'm pretty sure Gary Russell was Showtime, wasn't he? So it would be Showtime probably. Yeah,
you know what they do.
It has, yeah. Cool. But yeah, that's it really. That's it really in terms of what we'll touch upon this week. Unless you've got anything else to add, really, Flowz, I think we can wrap it up there. Another short one.
Yeah, I think that's everything in terms of action.
Yeah,
not much else.
Yeah, not much of a news either, really, boxing wise. But I'm sure something will pop up this week that we can discuss.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit of a lull in terms of like the quality fights at the moment, but we know very shortly it's going to pick up again. So let's get these couple of weeks out of the way. When's the next mega one?
I'm sure there's one in July.
Yeah, I feel like there's one in July too. That's why I'm checking now. Okay, you got Joey Gonzalez, Isaac Dogbo. Oh, there isn't really. Okay, well, Danny Garcia, Jose Benavidez is probably the next big one in terms of big names. Yeah. Okay. And then the week after that, we got Avenician Ortiz. I know you're looking forward to that one.
No, Avenician pulled out, remember?
Oh, he's pulled. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Yeah. Avenician pulled out. I forgot.
I don't think he was signed. I don't even know why I want to Avenician like that.
Yo, bear on to. That's funny, man.
He was going to get cooked. That's what I know.
Sorry, it's the same. Yeah, sorry. It's just that same week. Sorry, is the well, I guess the Amanda Serrano and the Jake Paul card. That's also August 6th. But yeah, really, it's not. Week after that, you got Teofimo versus Pedro Campa.
Okay.
Then week after that, obviously, it's AJ Usyk. Boy.
August. And then Canelo Golovkin's in September, right?
Yeah. And also, actually worth mentioning quickly, September, obviously, we know it's Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. But apparently, I don't know if it's been fully confirmed yet. But it seems like it's close to being confirmed that the Baumgardner, Michaela Meyer fight was going to be on that as a co-feature as well. And if that's the case, that is going to be a sensational night for women's boxing. Trust me.
Sensational night for boxing in general, man.
Bro, it's gonna be beautiful because these are two of the most anticipated fights that fans have been clamoring for. Yeah, man, that's pretty. If they get both of them on the same card, sensational stuff. Absolutely sensational stuff.
When you talk about the fights people want to see this year, that's two of them
packed on the card.
Yeah, that's two unification / undisputed fights.
Yeah,
as co-main events. Yeah, they need to make that one happen.
The ladies are doing it again. They're doing it again. But yeah, let's leave it there. Once again, I've been your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz. And
this has been episode 97 of the SZN Podcast. Make sure you keep supporting, keep it locked. Peace.
You taking a strap? I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.